Hey guys, I know I haven't posted a YouTube video in such a long time, and that's mainly because I lost the motivation for it. A lot of the YouTube videos I was pushing out is just because I wanted a new YouTube video every week and I wasn't putting as much quality into it, and it just felt really burnt out. So I stopped. But I'm no longer feeling burnt out. As you can see, I'm in a cute little Star Wars Padme cosplay, and I'm going to be talking about the main character of the Star Wars prequels, Anakin Skywalker. Also, you may notice I have my phone in my hand, and that's because I am using a script for the first time. I typed out this whole script, and I'm very proud of it. So yeah, let's get started with this analysis. During this analysis, obviously, I'm going to be talking about Anakin Skywalker. I'm going to be talking about him in all the main 3 movies, and a little bit of his relationship with his Padawan in the Clone Wars. But also, I haven't watched the Clone Wars yet. Please no spoilers in the comments. Thank you to Isabella, aka short for a clone trooper. I'm gonna put her in the description and on screen. Thank you so much for giving me the information about the Clone Wars. And before we start this video, just a reminder that this is my own personal opinion. This is all up to me, my personal opinion. I am not a professional film critic. I don't spend all my time studying film. This is my personal opinion, and I'm also 15 years old, and I literally just started watching the Star Wars movies. So once again, let's get on to the analysis. Again, let's set down some stone right now. I have an extreme hatred for Anakin Skywalker. My literal Instagram bio is Anakin Skywalker hate page because I don't like this character. I'm going to be so biased in this discussion, in this analysis. Sorry. But I can also admit that he is a good character, and his turn or seduction to the dark side was very interesting. So I'm going to talk about his character in all the main 3 movies. I already said that. I'm also going to be talking about his costume later on because I'm a cosplayer, and I have some interesting things to say about the costume department with Anakin Skywalker. So, Anakin Skywalker reminds me of those guys who'd be like, I don't drink my coffee with sugar because that ruins the purpose of it. Sugar is too sweet, and my coffee needs to be bitter, like my soul. He reminds me of that, even though he's a pretty emotional dude. Can my camera center, please? And Anakin Skywalker is also very emotional and impatient. And I understand that his emotionalness and his impatientness is such a huge part of his character. But oh my gosh, is it annoying. I hate impatient characters. And for a person, me, being pretty impatient, I don't know what that really says about me. But let's go back to the actual analysis. In the beginning, Anakin Skywalker was a child slave on the planet of Tatooine. I don't know how to say any of these Star Wars names, but back to what I was saying. Anakin Skywalker was born without a dad to a slave mom, meaning his mom just popped him out. I don't even know either, don't worry. He later on was discovered and freed from being a slave by Obi-Wan Kenobi, along with Padme. I'm gonna be 100% honest in my talking here. The first Star Wars movie isn't really that interesting for Anakin's character development or anything like that. We do get a couple of information that says that Anakin is the chosen one and he's super important because his blood contains more. I'm gonna have to read this word off the script because I knew I was gonna have a problem with it. Midi-chlorians. He has more of those than Yoda. Can I tell you what midi-chlorians are? No. Someone explain what midi-chlorians are. And if you don't know, Yoda is the true Jedi Master. He's the highest of the highest that you can get. So it's pretty important that he has more of this blood thing that are supposed to be very strong. Anakin Skywalker is strong with the Force, and Obi-Wan suspects that he is the chosen one said to bring balance in the Force and the Jedi Council. What does that mean? I don't know. What does bringing order in the Jedi Force mean? But Obi-Wan Kenobi suggests that Anakin Skywalker starts training to be a Jedi, even though he's kind of above the age that you really start to train a Jedi. And after a little bit of pressuring with the High Council, they finally say yes, and Anakin Skywalker starts his Jedi training. And that's basically the end of his story in the first movie. There's a little more detail, a lot more interesting stuff in the first movie, but that's all I'm going to get to for Anakin Skywalker in the first movie. In the second movie, we see a time jump, and Anakin Skywalker is all grown up and he has become a Padawan. Padawan basically means like an underling to a Jedi Master. So you have students who go to classes to become Jedi, Padawan who are paired up with a Jedi Master, Jedi Knight who are like slaves. I don't know, they're there and they do knight things, and then Jedi Masters. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is his Jedi Master, and he's right underneath him. He's soaking up all that Jedi information. Like, I'm gonna be a good guy. Yeah, and all that. Also, we see that he's developed feelings toward Padme because he sees her after, like, I don't even know how long the time jump is. I believe it is 10 years. And he's like, baby girl, how you doing? We saw that in the first movie, he had a little bit of a crush on her. He was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, but nothing really like this. But now he's like fiending for her. But there's a big rule. You cannot date or be in love with someone if you're a Jedi. That goes against the Jedi Order, and that's not allowed. And Padme knows that. And she also has no interest in him in the beginning. She's like, leave me alone. I have a job to do. I am a high counselor person. I don't even know what Padme is. I love Padme. But sometimes I don't understand a lot of things in Star Wars movies. But back to what I was saying. Where was I? That's something that Yoda and his people were worried about Anakin Skywalker becoming a Jedi in the first place because they saw how emotional he is and how distraught he is. He knows it'd be easy for him to go against the Jedi code and all of that. That's what Yoda was worried about. He's like, oh, I know this. Noah. Know this boy trouble he is going to make. That's how Yoda speaks. But you get what I'm saying he knew that Anakin Skywalker was a pretty emotional person and was scared that he was going to break the Jedi code. So they believe that emotional people should not become Jedi. But look at Anakin Skywalker. He's one of the most emotional people ever, and he's going to be the promised one. But back to what I was saying. Him and Padme do eventually start a secret relationship and get married. And all goes dandy. They're having picnics in the park, and he's like, I don't like sand. Sand is coarse on my skin. And blah, blah, blah. But later, Anakin Skywalker is tasked with watching the High Chancellor. And the High Chancellor is doing his thing, but then we find out that the High Chancellor is a Sith Lord. If you don't know what a Sith is, it's basically an evil Jedi. Someone who is trained in the Jedi ways, but uses it for the dark side, or uses it for evil instead of using it for good like a Jedi would. And we are shown that even though Anakin Skywalker is in the beginning like, I can't be around you. You're a Sith. Get away from me. He's slowly getting seduced by the dark side. And Dark Sidious, aka the High Chancellor, aka the Sith Lord, has started to change up the way he thinks and alter the way Anakin Skywalker thinks in his brain to seduce him to the dark side, because he knows his power and he knows that Anakin Skywalker is a really emotional fella who can easily be seduced to the dark side. Now for the next movie. I don't really remember anything else in the second movie that was important to his character, so that's why we're just skipping to the third movie. Anakin has this vision or this idea that Padme dies and he has no idea what to do. And he's so distraught because I love Padme. She's the only one for me. I can't let anything bad happen to her. I need to stop talking like Anakin. But you guys are getting what I'm saying. So he brings this up to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Obi-Wan Kenobi tells him, Jedi cannot have attachments like this. I'm going to be straight up with you. People live and people die. And there's nothing we can do about it. It's the circle of life. And it moves us all. At least that's what I think Obi-Wan was thinking in his brain. I could be wrong, but am I ever wrong? I need to stop adjusting this camera. It keeps falling. So he has no one has any idea why he's so connected to Padme. They're like, she's just some regular girl that you maybe become friends with, because no one knows that he's married to her. Obi-Wan Kenobi has a little bit of an idea, but he's not entirely sure. Because of Anakin's huge urge and like consumption to find power to protect his wife, he slowly turns to the dark side. And Dark Sidious once again gives Anakin and spreads the idea that the Jedi Council and all the Jedi people are against him, and that they are taking away his power, and plants all these evil ideas into him. So slowly he turns to the dark side and takes on the persona of Darth Vader. My guy's like, but not yet. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We know that Anakin Skywalker was seduced to the dark side by Dark Sidious. It says Dark Cyndia on my script. See? Darth Cyndia. Oh my gosh, so it says Darth Cyndia. Hopefully you believe me. And that he gave him the vision that Padme was gonna die. The audience knows it, but Anakin Skywalker does not. And he made him believe that the Jedi were all going to betray him because of how easy it was to seduce Anakin Skywalker to the dark side. Because of his constant emotional behavior, the pattern of emotional and recklessness that Anakin Skywalker takes. So he executes Order 66. Basically, it says that all Jedis were traitors, and this took out the entire Jedi Order. The sad thing is, he didn't get to see if his wife even died. Anakin Skywalker went through all of this, and his wife died anyway. She died giving birth to twins, Luke and Leia. Don't worry, I'm going to make us see a video on Luke and Leia respectively later on. And he did all this destruction, destroyed everything for nothing, because even the thing that he was supposed to prevent ended up happening anyway. He tried so hard to protect his wife and to protect his children that he went through all this destruction. But if he thought for 5 minutes, he would know that it was not worth it. And Anakin Skywalker also gets into a fight with his Jedi Master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. They have a huge fight where Anakin seemingly loses. He's dumped into a fiery pit of lava and loses majority of his body parts and breathing tubes, where he takes on the classic persona of Darth Vader that we know today, with the black robe and the black robot parts and the black mask and all of that. Anakin Skywalker is no more, and all we have is Darth Vader. Everything that Anakin Skywalker ever loved is gone. His wife, the Jedi, his mom we don't even know about, and all of that. Now, we are going to get into a little side tangent about the Clone Wars before I get into a deep, opinions. While, yes, Anakin Skywalker's emotionalness can take the better half of him, it can also blossom into something beautiful. Anakin Skywalker gets a Padawan in the Clone Wars, whose name is Ahsoka, the one who I think looks like Doja Cat. And they form a very beautiful bond. They both are similar people, and they form a sort of sibling bond together. They both care for each other deeply. Anakin has this strong emotional bond to his Padawan. I feel like I've been saying emotional and bond so much in this little segment, but it's true. And it shows that even if his emotions can get to him in terrible ways, they can also blossom into beautiful things. Even if he didn't want a Padawan in the beginning, he eventually learns to love this little girl like his own daughter or his own sister or whatever. And I think it's just beautiful, and that's the only part of Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars I will talk about, because I am not taking no spoilers for this show. But back to what I was saying. Basically, from what all we can see in all three movies, is that Anakin Skywalker is a very emotional, reckless person. He thinks without acting. He acts without thinking, and that was his downfall. He thought about, oh my gosh, my wife is gonna die, and didn't think deeper above it. He's entirely filled with what if. What if he didn't listen to Dark Sidious? What if he thought more? What if he told the Jedi High Council that he was married to Padme and that's why he didn't want her to die? What if he did all of this? But no. He destroyed the entire Jedi Order because of what? An idea that he got? And turned out the idea wasn't... I got something stuck in the gun. There. Turns out the vision wasn't even real, and it was just planted into his mind. Anakin Skywalker is constantly taken advantage of and easily seduced to the dark side. And the fact that so many of these, like, Star Wars dude bros push Anakin Skywalker as some, like, raw, muscly, tough guy who doesn't show emotions are so wrong. He's the most emotional character out of all of the Star Wars prequels. And I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh my gosh, male characters can't be emotional, because I know someone's gonna talk about that. But the fact is that his emotions get in the way of things. Anakin Skywalker could have been one of the greatest Jedi. He could have been the chosen one to bring balance to the Force, to bring balance to the Jedi, to bring balance to the Jedi Order and the Jedi Council. But instead, he was blindsided by an emotion. He didn't listen to his Jedi Masters. He didn't listen to the Jedi Order or any of that. And once again, it failed him. He could have been the highest Jedi. He could have led a new way for the Force. But man got his emotions getting too way. He said, I have a pretty wife and I don't want her to die, even though I should not have a pretty wife anyway. Now, time to talk about the costumes. I'm going to look at my script. All of Anakin Skywalker's costumes look the same. Credit to Quill Spirit 15971 on DeviantArt for this beautiful piece of art showing off all of Anakin Skywalker's outfits. Do you notice something? They're all the same. The only one that's different is a Clone Wars outfit where they have a hint of blue and red solely because it's animation. And like when he becomes the Sith Lord, if you see the Darth Vader outfit, all the Darths, or like the Siths wear black. Not Anakin. He wears the same outfit, but oh my gosh, he has a brown hood. That's how you know he's evil. Like, I know he couldn't be completely out, but you could have just like changed his outfit or changed his hair or something. They look all the same. His best outfit was his Darth Vader one because of just how interesting it is to look at. Compare everyone else in the Star Wars movies. Like, Padme had a new outfit for every scene she was in, and they were all so slay. They were all so good. Or, let's look at something. All of my friends are like, oh my gosh, you should cosplay Anakin Skywalker. You should cosplay Anakin Skywalker. And I'm like, no, first of all, his outfits are boring. But also, if I were to go on, like, I don't know, some random cosplay website, guess how much his costume would cost? Based off the research I've done for all these basic costumes, $100 to $200. Mind you, the average cosplay cost right now is between $60 and $120 if it's really complicated. I can get a whole Bayonetta costume. If you've seen Bayonetta, you know how complicated her costume can get for $120. But this Anakin boring costume is $200? Okay. And I know it's Star Wars, so it's supposed to be like Dan and Dusty and Sandy and like monotone colors, but you can still make monotone colors look good. And also, I feel like I could be a little biased because I love like in-your-face flashy neon colors. I'm literally making a clone trooper costume right now that's neon pink. Don't worry, I'll show pictures of that later on. But you get what I mean. Now, to conclude this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me how I can improve my YouTube videos and all of my stuff in the comments down below. If you guys have any other characters that you'd like me to do a character analysis on, please comment that down below too. If you like this video, please like the video. Please subscribe. And if you want to see more character analysis videos, also comment. I don't know how to close the YouTube video. I just dropped my prop gun. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or like any other social media that you can find. All my links will be linked down in the description. And I hope you enjoyed. Bye.